Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the DoubleClutch.ca podcast. I'm your host, Nick, managing editor of DoubleClutch.ca magazine. This week, we're in our usual studio, rushless, unfortunately, but we have, oh my God, Nathan, it's Jeff Wilson.
Oh boy.
Substitute Rush this week.
Yeah. Somehow more handsome Rush.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Jeff, what do you got going on? What have you been driving lately?
I have a very familiar car for you this week.
Is that so?
The car that I just returned is the car you just picked up. It's the nice 2025 bright purple BMW M2.
And you said you just dropped it off?
Yes.
That's what that smell was.
Exactly.
Okay.
Ew.
What did you think of it? Actually, hold on. Let's do this. I think you spent a week with it. I'm going to spend a week with it. Nick just spent 10 minutes in it. What do you think?
You know, I feel like...
All right, good talk. Jeff, what do you think?
I want to hear
There's
the first impressions.
there's a certain edginess that we've sort of come to expect from the M cars we've played with so far. Like, I think we had all fallen in love with the M3 and M4 CS.
Yeah, but they're very different animals.
Absolutely. The M5 blew our expectations out of the water. Even the X5 and X6M were like completely physics-defying. And very good for big, heavy-ass SUVs. Mm-hmm. But and this pains me to say because the previous gen car was just so fucking good, I was slightly let down by the M2 in this fully stock flavor.
I specifically booked this car because I had sort of second-guessed myself when I drove it when it first came out a couple of years ago. It was part of a comparison test with a Supra when the Supra first came out with a stick-shift.
I remember that story, actually.
Yeah, and I basically fell head over heels for the Supra and just was rather dismissive of the M2. And since then, I got thinking maybe I was needlessly harsh on it, so that's why I rebooked it to
let's
review
revisit
it
this and see. Yeah,
fully on
that's
its own.
fun. I'm coming at it from the same lens, but go ahead.
Okay, and so to start off, it is an incredible car. It's an excellent feat of engineering.
It is very good at everything.
That's right.
Yeah,
but it is somehow still leaving me feeling a bit cold.
It's a little disconnected. Little, just a smidge too numb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I can imagine myself loving the, like, if when they inevitably roll out like the M2 competition, like the 20% tighter version of this car. I want that. That sounds cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I certainly have a love for BMWs with inline sixes. I've had several of them now over the years.
I think we all have.
Right. And so, there's something about them that has always had that magic. But this car, it's very clinical. It's very, gosh, I don't know. It's a bit hard to define what it's lacking, but it is just sort of lacking a bit of soul or something.
Yeah. And the thing that sticks out for me is that you still had that sense of soul and character in the previous generation M2. I had the CS in 2021, and I felt head over heels in love with that car. The way it would just make you feel, the way it would communicate with you, even the way it looked was like pretty sweet. But this one is, you're right, Jeff. It's quite clinical. I felt the steering was maybe a bit too over boosted, maybe a bit too easy for my liking.
I wasn't trying too hard either. I think. Sorry, go on.
And again, like I opened with, I feel like a lot of that. I don't know exactly how much of that is the past M cars that we played with. I don't know how much of that is those particular vehicles tainting this impression or influencing it somewhat. But I just felt it's a little too disconnected.
I feel like that connection with past BMWs is a big thing here. And that's always a thing with BMWs. Like, no one hates BMWs more than BMW guys, especially new ones. And I feel like there's that expectation because of what it is and where it comes from. We expect it to be a certain way. I feel like if anyone else made this car, if this thing came out tomorrow with a Kia badge on it, it'd be like the most incredible feat of engineering ever.
Fair, yeah. So we hold it to a higher standard then, is that what you're saying?
And it doesn't miss. It doesn't do anything wrong. I think the only thing that car does, not even objectively wrong, but just like for its own good wrong, is I think it's too big. The last two was a little baby car, and this is this is I think about the same size as a 3, slightly shorter wheelbase than a 3, and to me it looks bigger. Like it's more visually dominant and looks larger than the 330i sedan John had a few weeks ago.
The wide body adds a lot of visual mass.
A lot of visual bulk to the thing.
Mind you, I fucking love the wide body on this thing, but yeah, it does add some visual bulkiness to it.
And like I think in pursuit of making it a better daily, and it is a vastly better daily than the outgoing M2. It has a backseat you can actually use. It has way more room, way more storage. It's way more comfortable. It has a gigantic trunk. It is a way better daily driver and a vastly better car than the old M2. I don't think it gives up anything in performance either, because it's the S58. It's a good engine. It's a very good engine.
I think if there are two types of sports car buyers out there, or new sports car buyers that are perhaps shopping in this. One is looking for something that they're actually going to genuinely use as a track car. They're going to take it out there. They're going to just wail on the thing. I think for that buyer, this car is a really, really good choice. The other group, and I would factor myself in that group, are people that they might do the occasional track day, but more likely than not, it's just going to serve as that sort of either special weekend car or daily driver. And that kind of a sports car buyer, I think, is looking for something that has that real emotional impact on you. So it makes spectacular noises that make, the hairs on your neck stand up, or it looks absolutely sexual in its appearance. And this car does neither of those things, kind of, again, going back to that very clinical thing. It is a tool for the job of going to the track and being fast and well equipped at that.
Yeah, but it's even, like, because everything that's even, like, slightly track-ish now is, like the M4 CS is, like, stripped out. No floors, everything is carbon fiber. Like, there's such a showiness about being ready to go to the track. And this, I don't get that off this M2 at all. At all. Because it is softer, quieter, straight up much fatter. Like the old one, I think, was like still a relatively light car by modern standards, and this, like at 3,300 pounds, by memory serves. I could be wrong. And this one, I think, is knocking on 38. Like, it is normal weight for a modern overweight car. Not a bad car. It doesn't do anything wrong. Just doesn't do anything really amazing either. I feel like if it were a little sharper, they'd like it better. I've also only spent a day with it. I might come and fall in love with it. It's also a 6-speed manual, and it's very good. Like, the manual engagement part, the shifter, clutch, like that whole interface, like they got that dialed in nicely.
I will say, for all the flack that BMW gets over their like so-called, whatever, overly rubbery shit feel, whatever, I did like the shifter in this M2.
I've never felt that. BMWs have always been super good at that. I don't know where these comments are coming from. Those people are dumb.
I might have made those comments at one point. I find that, the clutch take-up is quite long on this. The shift throws are quite long on this. And for something that is a very focused sports car, drive anything with a Honda or Mazda stick shift, for instance, these days, and you're going to feel what the benchmark is.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I will say you are right, and I disagree anyway. Okay. Because it feels like such a BMW, and all BMWs feel the same.
I can't argue that point. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. You keep going back to BMWs because you like the BMW-ness.
Yeah. Fair.
What else did I want to say about that thing? It's very purple.
That's a great thing.
It is exceptionally purple. It's like, if it had a white interior, it'd be Joker's back.
And it's not like the, what is it, Thunder Metallic or something.
Thunder Night, I think.
Thunder Night Metallic,
Yeah.
which was really, really dark. This is you're right, proper Joker purple.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic, though.
Yeah. I think the other big problem with the M2, because I am at my soul, and I think we all are, very cheap, man.
Oh, yes.
And for 91, the biggest problem with this car is other BMWs. Mm-hmm. If I want a toy, I'm getting a Z4, and I'm never thinking about it ever again.
Yeah, we were almost. I was almost going to mention that off mic, but you kind of caught me, and I was like, oh. And then I realized I should probably say that for the air.
And then we were talking to Addy earlier. You brought up the M340.
Mm-hmm.
So this car as stickered is 91, base price 78.
Mm-hmm.
That's firmly in like stick Z4 territory.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, I really, really love the M240i.
Yeah,
I think
that's great too, yeah.
You know, I don't need to have the full fat version of it in the M2. And yes, I'd have to give up the stick shift. But, you know, I don't know, the M240i, if you're going to use it as sort of your everyday, I'm going to commute in this thing, I'm also going to have fun on the back roads and just thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah.
It does a great job of that. And it still saves you some money that way.
That's the thing. And it's still very fast. It's still too fast.
Yeah.
And competent. And that has the benefit of all-wheel drive, which I don't super care about, but it does make it a better daily. Like, yeah, this car kind of, to me, sort of struggles to justify itself. I think the only thing really going for it is its visual drama. And that is a plus or minus, depending on your cam.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been polarizing here at the office. I know Rush loved the wide body. So do I. I think it looks fantastic.
He is a huge fan, and he makes a point. He's been saying this for a while now. I think in 10 years we're going to look back at that car as like a home run in BMW design when they're all on their second owners, lowered on giant HRE rims. They'll look amazing.
When we were when I was back into my spot here at the office after I took it out, I was looking in the mirror. I was like, yeah. Those are some pretty sexy hips.
Yeah, the back end of that car is definitely the best, and those tailpipes are huge.
Yeah, it's I like it. No, it's not even that. I don't know that I like it, but I know it's very good. You know what I mean?
Well, see, I would say I like it. I just didn't fall in love with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I want to. It's a BMW. I expect to fall in love.
Yeah, kind of. Funny enough, Jeff, you mentioned the M240i, but I keep thinking back to the base 230i. That was on the fleet maybe like 2 years ago or something. A couple of winters ago. That is one thing. That is 1.2 series that I did not expect to like as much as I did. And I think a lot of that boiled down to the simplicity of that formula. Like in a car like this, you sort of want it to be simple, you want it to be engaging, and you want to have a good amount of fun no matter where you are. If you're around town going from light to light, if you're on the highway, if you're on a back road, whatever. For me, the fucking base 2 Series was that car. I thought it was plenty quick enough. I thought it looked... Still think it looked a little awkward. I don't like what BMW does with all the contrasting black trim on the base cars. I think on the M2 it looks pretty good because you have more body colored parts. But I'm not a fan of the black trim on the base cars. But what really sealed it for me with the base 2 Series is that you could get into one of those reasonably well equipped for around just a touch over 50 grand. And
50 grand for a 4-cylinder BMW?
That's how much a base 3 Series costs.
Yeah, but
it's got to be a straight 6.
Yeah.
Don't even bother. It's got to be a straight 6.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you on that. Yeah. Mind you, I never drove a 230, so...
That's fair. I thought it was... It surprised me. I did go into that thing thinking, okay, this is a base 4-cylinder BMW. I'm probably going to be let down because it doesn't have 6 or 8 cylinders. But I wasn't. That's the thing. That's what surprised me the most about that car, which I find interesting because it kind of goes... It's pretty much completely flipped from my experience with the M2 in that I was like, all right, cool. M2, stick, right number of cylinders, rear-wheel drive. This is going to be good. But here I am.
Indeed.
Yeah, I don't know. Sharpen it up a little bit, maybe. I'm not sure. As it is right
Yeah.
now, it's a fantastic fast daily.
Yeah. And we know BMW can do good modern steering too.
Yeah.
Like the M3, the M4 CS were like...
Yeah, but again, those are CSs.
fantastic.
Those are all like super firm
Yeah.
bushings and everything is lowered and slammed. Like
Yeah, but
those
like-
are the edgy cars.
Yeah.
And they're also twice the price.
Give me some of that. Give me some of that edginess in this M2.
I think I said this about... What did I say? I said this about the last manual Supra we had. I think this car is like a couple sets of polyurethane chassis bushings away from being like, yeah, right there. It's so close.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that checks out.
Anything else you wanted to bring up before we move into our next topic regarding cars we've had lately?
We should probably talk about the XC60.
Yeah.
You sound so begrudging about it. It doesn't warrant that disdain. It's a nice car.
It is.
It's actually a very nice car.
Yeah.
I love Volvos.
So Rush is in the
I love Volvos.
XC60 R
Ultra.
design?
I don't.
Ultra R design?
I don't think it's an R design. Is it an R design? I don't think it is.
We were just
I didn't
configuring
see it on the builder when we were just playing with it.
That was weird because R design used to be its own trim level, but
Yeah.
this looks like an R design, but it isn't an R design.
No,
Anyway,
it just has nice wheels on it and looks tough.
Yeah.
It looks surprisingly tough.
I know. Okay, so Rush is in the 2025 XC60 Recharge this week. And
That is one of my favorite powertrains in a modern car.
yeah,
I love it.
It's funny, on paper, I look at what it is and think, this is asinine.
Yeah.
This is ridiculously,
Yeah.
hopelessly, needlessly, stupidly
Oh,
complex.
they're not twin charge anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what is this?
It is a 2-liter turbo 4. So what I really like about this, it's a new ground up 2-liter turbo 4
Right.
with a battery and an electric motor,
Right.
and I think an 8-speed auto. The thing I appreciate the most about it is that the electric powertrain is completely divorced from the gas powertrain.
Okay.
Gas lives up front, electric is out back. There's no connection. And the only other car I've driven that does that is the Corvette E-Ray. I'm telling you, it works really fucking well. It works. And I thought this when I had the XC90 Recharge. It's one of my first few press cars, 3 years ago. I was in love with that idea because it does everything you want an EV to do with the one pedal driving, like it does, and the turning on and off the creep or hold or whatever. Like it can be an EV that is also gas. And in this case, because it has 450 horsepower, it is literally gas.
It is a sprightly machine. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, and I think because it's a Volvo, maybe because for some people, maybe not because it's Volvo, it's a bit unassuming in that regard. Like it can boogie, it can hustle, and yet it's like what this is
What the hell is
a
that?
soccer parent
Yeah.
car that's just driven past. You know? Yeah. And as has been the case since the dawn of man, Volvo seats are really comfortable.
Interior
and
ergonomics are
delicious.
top notch. They handle well. They drive well.
Yeah.
Their powertrain is now very refined and is not the ridiculous twin charge setup. It's quite lovely. I'm a big fan.
Well, I'm glad you commented on the ergonomics because we don't know how much longer that's going to be the case. I'm assuming once this model gets updated or replaced or whatever, you're going to see the same kind of nightmare that's in the EX30.
That's something we can talk about because I think, Jeff, you and Nick are aligned on this, and I am opposed.
Okay.
So, you weren't on the EX90 launch, were you?
No.
Okay. So I got to sample Volvo's new tech suite there,
Right.
and I loved it.
Is it the same that's in the EX30?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly the same.
Wow.
And
well, when you're wrong, you go all in, don't you?
I commit to it.
I see that, yeah.
Just leap off that bridge, buddy.
I think that interface is too simple for its own good.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are parts
Like,
of
it's
it.
too minimal.
There are parts of it that I get.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it doesn't have switches for the back windows.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a switch to switch what the front windows do.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid.
And the fact that the mirror controls are things like that. But how often are you changing mirrors? That's the thing that journalists do fucking 500 times a day and no one else does.
Yeah. But
and
I think it's
the system they set up is pretty easy to use and does work quite well.
It's the more fundamental things, though, that, like, okay, I want to make an adjustment to temperature or like anytime, and it's not just Volvo, but anytime you have to go into the screen to do typical, regular, everyday things, whether it's adjusting volume or adjusting temperature or fan speed or anything like that, that's when it becomes a nuisance.
I get that, but it's fixed on screen. It doesn't go away. That's a climate shortcut. That's always fixed.
Yeah, but the problem, though, I found, at least with the EX30, was its onboard nannies and safety things are so severe that I was being, berated and admonished every 3 seconds. It's like, hey, I need to look over here because it's a big bloody screen, and so I have to find what part of the real estate I need to tap to adjust a channel or whatever else, play with the map, anything like that. And you get, I think it's 2 seconds before the system starts screaming at you.
The driver attention monitoring is crazy strict in that
It's
thing.
like
ridiculous.
It's like the car basically admits that its massive screen that's supposed to help is actually distracting.
Exactly.
Okay, but everyone does this, and I think Volvo does it quite well. That's all I'm saying. I actually really like the interface. I think it works really well. I'm a curmudgeon who is easily frustrated by tech.
That's what
and
I'm surprised
I was
by this.
pissed off 0 times.
I will grant, I do like the actual interface. But again, I also was one of the very, very few. I was one of the very few people who actually liked senses. So I could kind of I did kind of like jive with the EX30's new infotainment in that regard. I did like the interface. I thought it was fairly easy to use once you figure out where everything is. That's the thing.
Well, safe to say, the old system in the XC60 still works really well.
It still works quite well.
It
It's
does.
still there. It's still good. Interior's still lovely. They're lovely cars. I really like Volvos. I'm such a fanboy for Volvos. I feel like for a normal car, like if I wanted to go fast, I get a BMW. If I didn't want to go fast, no, not even. They're still fast.
Because this
They
thing
are
is
so
bloody
fast.
Yeah.
I think Volvos are like the best driving cars at like just for doing normal stuff. I think Volvos are the absolute best.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah, I was very, very enamored by that XC60 last year, the one that they had on fleet, which is basically the same spec, but the
Just black instead of white.
white. Yeah. And I took it to Detroit and back, and I had charged it up before I left, and got my whatever 50 kilometers, 70 kilometers, whatever it's rated for of electric, and then didn't think about it. It just performed as a really nice hybrid the rest of the time that I went all the way down there, all the way back. Lots of power whenever you needed to pass, and it was smooth, it was quiet, it was comfortable. The sound system was good. Like, there was nothing not to like about it. It was just really good. Yeah.
I actually had to do a double take with this one yesterday because I was like, I looked back at it and I was like, that front fitment's actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, the optional 21s on this thing look really nice.
Yeah.
Like a nice bright machine face. They look really nice. And like, I don't know if it's just me or there's a year-over-year tweak, but like it looks like it's been lowered. Like this thing is sitting really nicely.
Is there a chance that it could possibly be the air suspension in like access mode, whatever?
I don't know. I don't think so, Tim. I'm glad someone got that.
Tim.
Wilson.
Well, it's weird because like I only noticed it in the front that the fitment was like really sick.
I don't know. It just looks good. Because I've never been a fan of the XC60. I figure like, should I get off the pot? Get the big one or get the small one? What are you doing? And now this one is the first one. And you guys ever got that where like, you've seen a car 800 billion times and then one day you notice it and then you can't unnotice it? You know what I mean? You're like, oh, that's one, like it just worked for you once and then you're good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I had that today with this XC60.
Sick. Yeah, it's a fetching thing. Surprisingly.
What else you got?
What else we got? Speaking of the Volvo's sweet seats, that kind of does a segue into what we sort of wanted to bring up next. Last week, Nathan and I got to talking.
Oh boy!
What's some of the shit that new cars do that absolutely ruined for you on old cars? And we had a very interesting discussion, but we didn't
like what you mean like what have I been spoiled by? Like what have new cars spoiled me and going back to old cars?
What have new cars spoiled you? Spoiled on old cars for you?
I think the example came up with was headlights.
Heck yes.
Yeah. I can't believe how I used to live with those candles for so long.
Exactly.
Jesus.
Yeah, especially when you experience some of the really, really good ones, you know, that the Germans are doing there with all the fancy matrix stuff and how it'll block out a car that's coming at you.
Nuts how good some of that works.
You can see through time with some of those lights. It's incredible.
Yeah. Like you can see so far, you can see the back of the car. It's crazy.
Exactly. The headlights would definitely be a big one.
I rented a fucking Citroen Cactus last time we were in Portugal.
Nice.
And it still did that thing. I was like, this is like a fucking $20,000 manual crossover shitbox. And that one still had adaptive goddamn headlights.
Wow.
Like Matrix headlights?
Yeah. It fucking blocks out like...
That's cool.
It blocked out pedestrians or oncoming traffic when it had the high beams on. Like, this is nuts. And
That's really neat.
Completely was not expecting that in that shitbox.
I remember my first year doing this. It wasn't even long ago. I remember remarking, what did I have? It was something that I had that was expensive. I think it was a Ram. And it didn't have ventilated seats. And it was still hot. And I remember thinking, okay, I've made it. I'm officially an out-of-touch, prissy journalist bitch. Because I'm upset that my car doesn't have vented seats.
Well, yeah.
You sound like Addy.
The same but flip, I guess, is the heated steering wheel thing.
And the heated steering wheel. Oh my God, that's a godsend.
That's mine.
To the point where that was just a colossal disappointment when I picked up my new car recently, and I was sure that it came with a heated steering wheel, only to find out on a cold morning that it didn't.
I think Subaru is one of the only companies that doesn't just jam a heated steering wheel on almost
on
everything.
Yeah, there's no excuse. They put it on other things, so why didn't they put it on that? Anyway, I digress.
Yeah. Heated steering wheel is so nice. Like I will have a vented seat and heated steering wheel going at the same time because why not?
I like my hands warm, but I don't want swamp ass.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a reasonable thing to like.
Fair enough.
And then I went out and bought the only new car without a heated steering wheel, even as an option.
Rip. Yeah, heated steering wheels for me. I recently picked up a new daily driver. It has a heated steering wheel. I was like, this is... I hate how much I like this.
It's so nice.
That is pure luxury.
Yeah.
Warm hands, pure luxury.
It really, and it's such a basic thing you don't even think about, right? Like, I'm like, oh, it's actually really nice. I never want to not have this ever again.
Yeah. I think in general, like all the tech, as much as we, not more than 5 minutes ago, I was bitching and complaining about the tech in the Volvo, but the fact that it does enable so many different things that I can still, for better or for worse, use Apple CarPlay for the most part nowadays pretty seamlessly in most cars. It operates pretty well in most cars. And, it lets me still do that, check my messages if I want to, or at least listen to them and access all my Apple Music and, deal with Google Maps and stuff like that pretty fluidly. And then to get into an old car and then I find, for my leave behinds or whatever, now I got to put a deck in that will accommodate my Apple CarPlay. And it's just like, oh, I'm so spoiled.
Yeah, but that's just you being spoiled. Something I really, really enjoy. That's one of those things that like I can't go back and fix, right? Like if I felt so motivated, I could make an old BMW not have candles for lights. I can't put adaptive cruise control on an old BMW. And I love that shit so much. Please sit in traffic for me. I never want to do this again. I love it.
It is one of those things where, for me, it's a subtle thing. Like, I don't realize how much I love that until
it's gone.
I don't have it. And then I go, I have to pay attention and brake now. That's no good.
Nonsense.
I have to sit in this traffic jam on my own?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, dude, there's no one to drive for me. And, like, Bay Civics will do that. Like, a lot of cars do that now, and they do it quite well. It's just a new car thing that's
standard
really
on
nice.
Everything.
Except BMW M2s.
Yeah.
Well, that's the price you get for wanting to shift your own gears.
I guess, yeah.
But Volkswagen figured that out.
Subaru's figured it out.
Volkswagen figured that out a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the fucking Mark 7 Golf R, I was stick and still had adaptive cruise. I remember because someone cut me off and car slammed the brakes and almost stalled out on me that one time on the DVP. Fucking scary as shit.
Well, that's why they don't do it anymore. Oh, here's one. What I really enjoy is when I go out to one of my press cars, with the exception of that one time, unfortunately was a Volvo, it will always start. That's really nice.
Convenience. Who would have thought?
Yeah, I also like all the keyless entry stuff too. Again, it's come back to these spoiled tech things. But, you know, as you just said, like with the adaptive cruise control, you can get that on pretty rudimentary machines these days. And it's the same thing with like the keyless entry is equipped on almost everything we drive, where I can walk up and just simply grab the door handle and get in and sit down, as opposed to the needless, cumbersome fumbling with a fob and pushing a button. You know,
I hate that shit. The keyless stuff. I hate it.
Really?
Hate it.
Why?
Because I'm dumb and bitter and resistant to change, and I've chosen this hill to die on. Also, because there's a running joke around the office, where are the keys to my press car? I bet they're in it. Because I don't have to interact with the keys, and they get left in it. All the fucking time.
God.
Okay. The amount of times I will go home, I will walk upstairs and go, where the fuck are the keys to this? God damn it. And go outside and get my keys out of the car because I always leave them in it.
So
because I don't have to interact with them. Yeah.
Right.
And yes, I am senile, thank you.
I see both sides. Like, I have been in Nathan's position before where I keep forgetting the fucking keys in the cup holder because, God damn it.
Because you don't have to interact with it.
Exactly. It's convenient. It's great.
If you have a purse, it's wonderful.
Cargo pants for the win.
Pockets. You know that little jean pocket here on the side? That's where I keep my keys.
I'm very particular about how I arrange my pockets.
Fair enough. What really, it's not really a thing that spoiled me, but what drives me up the wall is auto opening tailgates.
Oh.
So pray tell.
The Cayenne GTS coupe that we had a couple weeks ago, that had this an auto opening tailgate. I was the morning of garbage day. I was about to bring the garbage cans in, and it fucking opened because the key was in my pocket. It opened the trunk lid, and it like fucking it squeezed me up against my garage door.
Does it? Wait, hold on. I've never seen that before. So, like, when you walk up to the back of it, it opens the tailgate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
I had a similar experience that was equally displeasing. It was a minivan. I can't remember which minivan it was, but this goes back a couple of years ago. And I was getting ready to take the photos for the review and had it in the self-wash car wash bays there. And the key is in my pocket, and I'm hosing down the side, and all of a sudden the door just starts opening by itself. That was problematic.
Oh, God.
Mind you, I've had a Volvo that's done that with its front windows for no reason either. It's just because it's a Volvo, it just decided to roll down its windows, and then I got to wash the dashboard too.
That's very good.
Yeah.
It's probably sensing that it was dirty.
Because they're that smart.
Yeah.
Actually, this is something that will affect the three of us very specifically as photographers as well, is the like smart auto start where there's no start button at all, like on modern Volvos where you just get in and just go.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to take photos and keep the lights on, it's a fucking royal pain in the ass.
Absolutely. Yeah, or to try to
Electrics
get
are like
dashboard shots or anything like that from the back seat. As soon as you leave the front seat, everything shuts down.
Yeah, so now you got to stand up, reach over, hit something, and get the shot before it powers itself back down. Yeah.
Shooting the Macan Electric last week was annoying for that exact reason.
Yeah,
Right.
shooting the EX40 like a few weeks before that was like, it took me like 10 minutes more than it needed to because it was constantly getting up and trying to turn the car on.
Yeah.
I guess that
Those
leads
cool
us into
shots.
our next topic.
Well, I was going to say, just to summarize, it doesn't sound like there are that many things that have actually spoiled us with the new cars. Not as many as I would have thought. The things that we, for the most part, they're pretty trivial.
It's kind of the obvious stuff.
It is
right?
all just trivial shit. And even like...
Except for the headlights. That was a
Except
good
the
one.
headlights is like a real functional thing that I appreciate. But even like, when I went to go get my Leaf behind that had nothing as far as amenities, I'd drop off a $200,000 BMW and get into my $3,000 Volkswagen and be perfectly happy with it. Like, you don't miss it because the car is just a good car.
Right. Yeah.
It's nice to have that palate cleanser, and for the lest this comes across as a bit too much inside baseball for our listeners, the way we typically do things is we bring our personal cars to an automaker's head office, leave it there for a week, and get back into it by the end of the week. In a lot of cases, it's nice having that palate cleanser. Just like hop into something perhaps a little older, but more engaging, more enjoyable. It's just nice having that palate cleanser.
Yes, my Beetle was engaging. I do miss that car.
I think the only other thing
power band on that thing.
Yeah.
that's come to mind just now that sort of spoiled me with some of the newer cars is the acceleration, the thrust that you get from an EV especially, like even a moderately powerful EV, it's that immediacy has kind of forced us to recalibrate what a quick car is these days.
Yeah.
Like I remember getting into the Hellcat last year.
And being kind of like
I got to wait for the supercharger to spool up and then some gears to drop before this thing really takes off.
I have to wait
Jeez.
0.3 of a second to get
Exactly,
going. This is bull. Like,
and it sounds ridiculous and silly and absurd, but it is something that you can actually genuinely feel the difference between, something like I don't know, like a Taycan or even like the upper spec of the Macan Turbo is just unbelievably instantaneously quick.
Yeah, it's sorry. Go on.
It's gonna interject with this real quick. The Macan we had last week, just a 4, and that was still fucking fast.
It was really good.
Like that was crazy for what's supposed to be almost the base model.
Yeah,
It's nuts.
But like that powertrain thing is like I don't. It's not something I miss going back to older cars ever, but like you spend a lot of time and like bouncing around between modern cars, and you do have to like tweak your expectation a bit because as much as we talk about like I appreciate the like instant throttle response of old BMW straight six whatever, it's a big jump to go from very good throttle response to none. There's no delay, actually none. It's just like instantly hooked up. It's just a different animal altogether.
Yep, I get that.
I completely forgot what I was going to talk about.
Taking pictures.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 of us are photographers. I thought it might be fun to talk about just our most enjoyable shoots over the last year.
Well, I have to say, and this isn't just blowing smoke up your collective asses here, but
It clearly is.
the one day when we decided to go out and just take some shots in and around our area there with the Corvette E-Ray and the ID Buzz, and because they were both such visually interesting cars, they automatically just get me more excited as a photographer that, this is something that I just want to sit and look at it anyway. So I'm going to keep snapping the trigger and taking more photos.
How can I get this? Oh, that's a pretty cool angle to look at through that. Like you find ways to appreciate the car more.
And I find so often for me, I've got my car for the week and I've got to go out and shoot it at some point. And like anything, as much as you don't want it to be, it does sometimes just become put the meat in the grinder and crank out the new sausage. You know, you've got another gray car in the middle of the winter and it's a bland SUV and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So when there is something that is a little bit more visually interesting, like either one of those two cars. That's really good. But the other thing that really stands out for me is that I went to a couple of familiar places for me, shooting places for me, that I took you guys to for the first time. And to get to experience it and see it through your lens, through your eyes, was really valuable for me, because it kind of gave a new perspective on these places, but also just the way that you shot the cars. Each of you was sort of like, oh shit, I can learn from this. I could take something
new
away
angles
from
to
this.
steal. Yeah, we all constantly steal from each other.
Suckers.
Like constantly.
Exactly. That's why Instagram was invented, so we could rip each other off. Yeah.
Oh,
Nothing's
that's a good
original
angle.
anymore.
Yeah, I like that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's mine now. Thank you.
Exactly.
I remember that shoot. I was really big into like playing with shadows
Yeah.
at that point.
Actually, that just reminded me of a fun topic. Like we could talk about, not now, we talk about things we've stolen from each other. I think that could actually be really fun. But let's move on with this.
With the ID buzz, I was really playing with shadows, because like when you've been doing this long enough, you kind of get into like, you get stuck in the mindset of best practices for photography. Like, you know, try not to shoot midday.
Yeah, don't shoot against the light. You want soft shadows, like
rule of thirds, whatever. But like with the ID buzz, and I love how those photos turned out, because for all intents and purposes, that was supposed to be like, that's a photographer's worst nightmare. Like we did everything wrong. It was mid-morning by the time we got to the parking garage.
Yeah, but we still had long shadows. It wasn't
cloud in the sky.
Yeah.
Harsh lighting. And the composition was like, kind of breaks a few rules here and there, but I still absolutely love how
everything that came out of that day was A1. Yeah. Also, those locations are great. Because I'm not from Hamilton, right? I had to come out and meet you guys down there. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was, this is great, because I'm running out of places to shoot around this office. I'm struggling lately.
Yeah. It gets hard, because you do so much. You have to shoot so many cars, right? Like at least one or two every week, and it doesn't take long before you've used up all your gold.
Yeah, like you try not to use the same ones over and over again, and even then, like, the parking lot's full today. Shit.
Yeah,
like
that's right.
Yeah. Why is there a bus there? Fuck. How long is that bus going to be there? I'm going to be out of work if this bus is still here in a month.
I think cars that have a really vibrant color, they always really. That always helps me tremendously too, especially this time of year as we're just coming out of the winter, and I'm so sick of just seeing gray, white, silver, black, whatever. That's all basically...
And all your backgrounds are white and yellow.
Exactly. Yeah. And so to have something that is vibrant, like our nice purple M2 there,
which I'm looking forward to,
that just pops in the sunshine. So it's fun. It adds something to it.
Do you guys struggle with white cars?
If they have black wheels, that's the worst thing ever.
Always blown out. Or if you try to dial it down, then the car's gray.
Yeah.
Like I ran that when I shot John's Golf R a couple of years ago. Like, I think I over-edited those, and the car looked gray. Like, it was just like hard to balance it out.
I've done that.
Yeah, that's happened to me. That's happened a few times before. If you tone the highlights down like way too much,
too much. Yeah.
It's easy to get carried away.
Yeah.
To Jeff's point, I actually really enjoyed shooting the Cayenne GTS. I was grumpy that week.
That was a great shoot. Sorry, go on. But that was a great set of photos. Jeff, have you seen these?
Thank you.
No, I haven't. I have to look those up then.
That is a great set of photos. Holy shit.
Thank you. I genuinely do appreciate that, because I was a little crabby that week, and I was like, what the fuck am I going to say and shoot and do about with this thing? Because like at that point, we had already reviewed the Cayenne Coupe and the Cayenne S, and I was like, what the hell am I going to do with this? Right. I'll just like shit it out, whatever. But then I shot it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool angle, because it was one of the locations here by our office, and there was a big ass puddle on the ground. I was like,
I'm showing Jeff on my phone right now.
Yeah.
Reflections.
Yeah. And it's a very cool hued photo with a bright red SUV.
Yeah.
It's reflected off a massive puddle.
Is that carmine red?
It is.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that color is gorgeous. Yeah.
Your eye for composition pisses me off so much. I don't know how you frame things the way you do so quickly. It fucking drives me bats. I have to try really hard to do that.
Speaking of things that
I can relate. I feel the same.
Yeah.
Speaking of things we've stolen from each other, I've started shooting long because of you.
Everyone should shoot long. I'm trying to teach the whole world to shoot long. It just makes everything better. I'm starting to shoot shorter now, actually.
God damn it! That's what I would do!
Against the grain. Yeah, those are gorgeous. And you're right, like with the conditions otherwise would have just been abysmal, but you've got this bright pop of color. You're really lucky with that nice reflective puddle there. Like,
against the snowbank, too. It's like, wow, this actually... First shot, I was like...
Oh my
Nathan's
God.
going to hate me.
Yeah, oh my God, I caught something here. Yeah, that's the best. You go out and like, I don't want to fucking shoot this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know a bit. Click. Oh.
Wait a second.
Yep.
What have I done?
Yeah, I've created art.
Yeah.
I find with when we're sent on the press trips too, it's such a crapshoot. Like you can either sometimes they'll send you these beautiful locations, but you're on such a tight
You're on
time
such
frame.
a time schedule. It's always noon on a beautiful day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you're frantic to find the spot that's going to work for your shots. And sometimes I find that I'm spoiled, and it'd be like, okay, you drive 20 kilometers down the road, and you go, oh, this is spectacular.
I have everything I need here. Yeah,
and then another 20 kilometers further, shit, this is even better. Okay, I need to get these ones, and then it just keeps going and going. And then other times you assume you're going to find that magic spot, and then you reach the end of your loop, and you go,
shit,
I guess I'm shooting this in the parking lot of the hotel now.
Yeah, like on my very first press trip, I was like, I was with Kia in Southern California, and I was absolutely totally spoiled. It was exactly what you said. Every 20 kilometers, oh, this looks amazing. Let's stop here.
Right.
And, and I have so spoiled for choice. And that set came out great, or as good as I could do as my novice time then. And every press trip shoot since then has been like, what the fuck? Complete dumpster fire.
I get that.
I can remember, well, you and I think the first time, Nathan, that you and I drove together.
Oh, yes, the Ram shoot was good, but even that was a challenge.
But because the weather was frigid and it was just gray and crappy, and so I think we knocked off our safety shots before the drive even stopped.
Yeah, like most of the good photos we ended up using were in the parking lot across from the hotel.
Right, exactly right. Exactly right. But it wasn't from lack of trying. Anyway.
Yeah.
I loved how you're Nathan. I love your DB12 shots.
That was one of those shoots where I'm like, man, I don't even know what to do with this fucking thing, whatever. And then, oh my God, what have I done?
That golden hour shot? Oh, Jesus Christ. The one?
Which one?
The pink sky.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but that wasn't golden hour. It was dark then. Wait, the one where I light painted it or not?
The one with the pink sky. I don't know if you light painted it, but...
The one that's on the wall out here?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's light painting.
Really?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
That's light painting.
So that's just cheating because he did it all in post.
Oh. Well, I mean...
No, it's real. It's all in the lens.
I guess, I know if you're light painting it in the day of or in the moment, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that was a great set.
Like, I actually don't know how to do multiple composition stacking in Lightroom. I haven't gotten there yet, so I just did it all in the lens. And then a lot of finagling in Lightroom.
I think one of my favorites of yours is that yellow 356 that's also hanging out here on the wall. That shot, just because there's the warmth of the yellow of that car, and then the shot itself, it's got so much warmth to it. It suits that car perfectly.
That was one of the I think you both are trying to blow smoke up my ass. That was one of the very first shots where I started like really like I'm gonna steal Nick. Because like when I started shooting, everything was like right dead in the middle of the frame, and it was very clear and just like clinical and sterile. And I started like, wait, Nick's, what is this? Thirds. He was talking about. What is this layering? I see. Okay, so I could actually put some shit in front of the. I see. Okay,
and it blurs it.
Yeah,
frame it too.
I can trust my equipment to do. Okay, all right. Let's try this. And that was one of the first cars where like, all right, I'm gonna rip it off. Let's do it.
Well, it worked.
It worked pretty well. And that was a shoot that I felt bad about too. That was going terribly. That was like that whole mission was dog shit. And I didn't even think the car was gonna make it. Like that was a bad shoot, and it was crowded in that parking lot. And I was running out of time. Like I had to pull like every string on earth to get that to come together. And when the first exposure came out, what is this?
I've had it before where I'll shoot them and the cars and not be very impressed during the shoot, and then can work some magic in Photoshop and just kind of go, oh, wait, thank God I shot this in RAW because now I can really save this without blowing out the background or whatever. You know, it just, I've gotten lucky thanks to decent equipment, let's say.
Yeah.
My lack of skill has been made up for by the good tools.
Oh, me too. I'm so lucky to be shooting on the... What do you shoot on? I can't remember. A big Nikon, right?
No, I've got a Sony.
Oh, that's right.
I'm
Yeah.
shooting Sony now too.
Yeah.
I thought you were Canon for the longest time.
I was, yeah. I was Canon for the longest time. I had a great collection of lenses at the office to pull from. And I don't know. I just decided it was time for a change. And so I switched to Sony. Everybody was having good luck with it. And I've never looked back. Between the dynamic range and just the way that it manages colors and everything, I don't know. I'm really, really happy with it.
Even shooting in JPEG, they come out great. Like, they're really nice.
Yeah.
I don't anymore, but they're really nice. Like, the in-camera processing is pretty terrific.
It's frustrating how good the iPhone is now, though.
I hate
Oh
how good they are now.
They're so good. Like, I just got one, and I hate it. It's so good.
Because you think of how hard you have to work with a real camera to get this shit. And
Just
then
to get the sky to look good.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just like, oh, wait, no, that just did it. And, 1/100th of a second on my phone, and I didn't have to process. And now mine has all that AI stuff in it too, right? So I took a photo of, I think it was of the M2 the other day, and there was like a telephone wire or something in the background. And so there's the option there that says remove or clean up photo or whatever. So you click that and just swipe your finger down, and suddenly something that takes me a half hour in Photoshop is done in a half a second on this bloody phone.
Yeah,
Damn technology.
It's so disheartening.
Oh, well, it's good.
Anyone can do this shit now.
Exactly.
It's no longer an elitist boys club.
We're already being replaced by AI. Oh my God.
I haven't even been doing this for very long. I don't have a pension yet, guys.
On next week's episode of the Double Clutch .ca podcasts, AI hosts.
Exactly, yeah.
Hello.
We are here. We love the
Don't praise the machine.
cars. They are machines.
I'm very nice to AI.
You are. You say thank you to it.
They're going to come get us one day, and it will leave me.
This is true because you were kind to it.
Yeah.
Maybe I should be more kind to it.
We'll be dead. You'll be the slave. Good
Yeah,
for you.
there you go. And I, for one, welcome our AI overlord.
Exactly.
On that happy note.
On that happy note, that actually just about takes us to the end of this week's episode. Jeff, why don't you tell our listeners where they can find your material?
Well, I've been talking up all that M2 stuff, so that story is going to show up on AutoTrader sooner rather than later. In fact, that's probably the best spot to find most of my stuff these days is on autotrader.ca.
Cool. And for those regular listeners who want to keep tabs on our automotive misadventures, you can do so at doubleclutch.ca. Now, Nathan, why don't you tell our dear listeners where they can find your work?
If you want to find just my work, ignore Double Clutch, but you should not, because Double Clutch is pretty good. You can check me out at AutoFixated on Instagram, and I will tell you to go back to the website and check out what I had to say about the cars instead of the pretty pictures.
So just go back to doubleclutch.ca.
Yeah, just go to doubleclutch.ca. We actually try really hard to do a good job.
Yeah, we try.
And you're succeeding. They look great, guys.
Oh. Thanks, Jeff. You're just saying that so we can invite you again for pizza.
Yeah, exactly. You gave me free pizza, so
Clearly.
I was obligated to say something nice.
You can't say that. Now they know we bribed you.
God damn it!
This is supposed to be unbiased journalism. We're going to get called out now.
How much is Big Pizza paying you? All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Catch you next week. And last but not least, thanks for listening, Nathan's mom.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.